days, and we have to keep America open and working. He has not listened well to people who could have helped him. He has not learned government or shown interest in doing so, says the Gazette. But the Biden-Harris ticket, now this is where it gets good, offers us higher taxes. Listen to that once again. The Biden-Harris ticket offers us higher taxes and a nanny state that will bow down to the bullies and to the woke who will tear down history rather than learning from history and building up the country. It offers an end to fracking and other cuckoo California dreams that will cost the economy and the people who need work right now, which is so many Americans. Good paying green jobs are probably not jobs for Pittsburgh or Cleveland or Toledo or Youngstown, Ohio, where I'm at. I know Steel Country, I know it very well. It's out of the Rust Belt because all the jobs have left. But back to the Gazette. It offers softness on China, which Mr. Trump understands is our enemy. Mr. Biden is too old for the job and fragile. There is a very real chance he will not make it through the term. Mr. Trump is also too old, but seemingly robust. But in Mike Pence, Mr. Trump has a vice president ready to take over if need be. He is a safe pair of hands. Senator Kamala Harris gives no evidence of being ready to be president. Right. And the Gazette goes on to say, to finish, this newspaper has not supported a Republican for president since 1972. But we believe Mr. Trump, for all his faults, is better choice for this year. We respect and understand those who feel otherwise. We wish that we could be more enthusiastic, and we hope the president can become more dignified and statesmanlike. Each American must make up his or her own mind and do what he or she thinks is best for the community and the republic. Vote your conscience. And whatever happens, believe in the country. Amen.
And speaking of believing in this country and this country, let's talk about Disney Coin Company, because Disney coins are the epitome of made in America, because they are made in the USA by machines made in America by people who deeply love America, and they're made with genuine silver and copper. These are valuable and a unique and worthwhile purchase, which always makes perfect presents. They come in 20 plus patriotic designs and 2 new designs coming each month. We at RSBN will be collecting these coins and can collect these along with us each and every month leading up to the election. They also make great gifts for the MAGA fan, or I guess CAG fan, K-A-G, Keep America Great fan in your office. We're giving 10% of the profits. Disney Coins is giving 10% of the profits back to conservative causes and organizations. So they are benefiting causes meaningful to you, the viewer. Go to www.dismycoins, D-I-S-M as in Mary, E, coins.com to check out the inventory and start your very own collection of Trump coins today. Use code RSBN at checkout for a discount. While you're there, don't forget to join their giveaway. It's really easy to do. Just click the giveaway tab on the left side of the screen. The more people that enter, the more winners there will be. All right, we're listening to one of several Elton John songs in the repertoire here. Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. I don't think the intention is the Antifa people in Vancouver, Washington, who are harassing the neighborhood. That was Saturday night. But let me talk a little bit more about the Jewish vote, and someone will probably accuse RSBN of anti-Semitism from going from coins, shekels, to the Jewish vote. So someone will probably Krasenstein that out at us, but they're so desperate, they'll try anything. I want to add something. I was just talking a little bit. This is also a tweet from the RJC. It's a great video. I saw this one. It says, I'm an observant Jew who has worked for President real Donald Trump for 23 years. I've only been respected as an observant Jew by him. So any accusation against him that he has either caused or is anti-Semitic, that he foments the anti-Semites, is not only false but dangerous. Yeah, that really bothered me, because I know Trump's reputation. His grandchildren are Jewish. His daughter converted. Really? That's the best you got left? That's what you're coming up with? Come on. And observant Jews are overwhelmingly supporting Donald Trump. I have to add that. And I saw something else here. There's some good stuff at RJC about how you can phone bank and volunteer. It's probably still valid, but I'd probably do it too. This is interesting. Hasidic Jews, there are a lot of them in New York, various places, very religious, very observant, much more than I am. Here's something interesting from Satmar headquarters. That's one of the branches of Hasidic Judaism, one of the largest ones. They sent a tweet, and I just saw this. A message to the Satmar communities throughout the USA. Let's ignore the experts and vote for President real Donald Trump, who deserves our hashtag block vote for all he has done for the Orthodox Jewish communities around the nation. First Step Act, promises made, promises kept, religious freedom, and Jacob Kornblue retweeted that. He's an interesting guy. He pointed out that they voted for Hillary Clinton and Bill de Blasio, but they endorsed Trump for re-election, and it might be a snide comment he put in after that, but so I'm not going to repeat it. But that's really interesting. There's something going on there. And there's some other things that are more the Republican part of Republican Jewish Coalition that they recently tweeted. The radical left would have lots of influence on raising taxes, defunding police, pressuring Israel, and more if Joe Biden is elected. I want to go back to something I saw from Jack Posobiec. He is, I think, in Scranton, Pennsylvania. He said it's 4 hours before the Trump rally and 36 degrees out. It's a huge crowd. These people are voting tomorrow. Who am I turning this over to? Back to you, Philip.
Thank you so much, Adam. I don't know if you saw yesterday, but on my Twitter, I happened to put out a picture of the crowd in Hickory, North Carolina. There was quite literally a pilgrimage of people, a long line going from one parking lot to the airfield where the rally was, and people were just standing in line, walking down a long, cold, dark road to see the President of the United States make his final remarks about why he deserves another 4 years in the White House. And if there's ever been anything that has ever been more reassuring to me, it has been that event yesterday when I saw the people walking down that road to support the president. And I think that we will surely see a victory for President Trump come November 3rd, come Election Day. I think it will be an overwhelming victory. Even if there is voter fraud, I don't think it can be combated because there will be such great turnout for our president in these swing states. The president has most notably said that if you elect him, he will open the economy and he will open the country. And if you elect Joe Biden, he will shut down the economy, he will shut down jobs, and he will shut down the country. And that is a strong, strong message that the president is sending almost in a gloves-off type of way. That he is going to be the leader that the people need. The people are looking for a leader. They don't want somebody to lead from behind. They want somebody to lead from the front. So we will see what happens come Election Day. I believe there will be victory for the president. And we will see what happens. Yeah, they went ahead and they put the presidential seal on the podium, which I like to say every rally because it is a telltale sign that the president is coming. I was corrected yesterday. There's an olive branch in one talon of the eagle, and in the other there is 13 arrows to represent the original 13 colonies. So that is what the presidential seal signifies, an olive branch and 13 arrows. So it is a quite significant seal, and it's really royal when you see it. It's fit for one person, and that's for the President of the United States, who gets elected by the people to be their leader. And when you do get that, you get to have that seal on your podium. So it's only a matter of time here before the president arrives. I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Ashley so she can talk to us a little bit about what's going on in North Carolina and what she sees as a resident of the state.
Thanks, Philip. Yeah, here in North Carolina, I think we're going to be a pretty red state once all the votes get in. I haven't seen many Biden signs around. Mostly everything is for Dan Forest for governor. I've seen a lot of those, a lot of Donald Trump signs. Local elections are a really big deal. I think they often get overlooked, but I think we're going to just encourage everyone to vote a straight red ticket to keep our freedom since we've been shut down so much in this state. I mean, a lot of our gyms have been shut down. Restaurants, a lot of roles. it's time we just let the schools, we let everything open up. You know, I'm looking at the crowd here right now in Fayetteville, and the overflow is getting pretty heavy. People are still coming in. You know, the excitement is good. I'm looking at the signs around 4 more years, promises kept, make America great again, keep America great, veterans for Trump. You know, it really is an experience to be here. I wish each and every one of you could feel the passion and the excitement that you get from being at one of these rallies. There is nothing more magical than being around a bunch of patriots. You know, when you're around people at a rally like this, you know where everyone stands. You know, everyone here supports military, they support their veterans, they support law enforcement and first responders. You know, you don't have any craziness, any anarchy, any fights. Everyone here loves each other. They love our country. They love America. They love the freedom. They love capitalism. There's no sign of socialism here at a Donald Trump rally. And you know, there's nothing also more exciting than when you see him get off of Air Force One. I mean, it really is just a powerful feeling. You know, I love this president. I love everything that he represents. A lot of people, they say that he's too blunt, they don't like his tone, but you know, that's something that I love most about him, is because I know that he's being honest. He's telling you everything is right from his heart. So Donald Trump, if you are watching, you know, keep doing what you're doing, tweet what you want to tweet, say what you want to say, because I can't see anyone being at a table in a conference with President Xi or any other of our world leaders and holding the line like you do. We know that Obama has drawn a red line in the past and he didn't keep it, but we know when you say something that you mean it, and you have the respect of the leaders around the world because they know that you will do what you say and say what you do. No, we're anxiously awaiting his arrival here. The rally is supposed to begin at 11:30, sometimes a little bit late, but that's okay. Everyone has smiles on their faces. You know, it's a beautiful day to really be out here, and we're really excited to hear what he has to say to the people of North Carolina. We're ready to get those votes in, get them counted. I was actually looking at an article on Twitter, and it said, let's see, according to Fox News, the Democrat Philadelphia mayor says it will easily take several days to count ballots. Now, as many of you know, Pennsylvania is going to be one of those states that we are really watching out for. So hopefully this ballot counting won't take too long and won't leave us hanging for a few days to find out who the next president of the United States will be.
I like making comments about the music, but if everybody wants you, why isn't anybody calling? Hey, Biden, if everybody wants you, why is no one coming to your rallies? Where's the enthusiasm? That is trash talk. Back to you, Philip.
While there is certainly a lot of enthusiasm for President Trump, the Trump Victory Campaign has done a wonderful job about knocking on doors and making phone calls, registering voters in these crucial swing states to ensure the president another victory come November 3rd. They have been knocking doors and making phone calls, getting in contact with voters since January or February in the state of Florida that I know of. They say that is the most important way to get in contact with voters because you can really hear from them who they're voting for, what their game plan is on election day, and that's something that is so crucial. And because people are knocking doors and making phone calls and registering voters in the cold, in the heat, that just goes to show you that there's so much enthusiasm for the president, so much so they wrote an article in Breitbart about it, and Adam's going to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. We're just looking at this now. John Nolte's been doing great work during this campaign on Breitbart.com. And this one is called, it's near the top, not hard to find, Nolte, Enthusiasm for Donald Trump Like No One's Ever Seen. I'm going to read you the first paragraph, then there's a part later on, and then I'm going to turn it over to Ashley. But it starts off, there's a favorite expression of President Trump's, some variation of nobody's ever seen before, or nobody's ever seen anything like this. He says it to emphasize the good, unemployment numbers, or the bad, illegal immigration, or something that in the future could be good. Your 401k if Trump's elected, or bad, your 401k if Biden's elected. Sometimes he's right, sometimes it's hyperbole, etc., etc. But here's a really good point later, and Ashley's going to give you some more points. But there's a contrast to Reagan. Nolte writes, but even Reagan, sure, he attracted large crowds, but nothing like this. Sure, people waited to wave at the presidential motorcade, but nothing like this. Add to all this the organic and truly grassroots boat and vehicle parades we're seeing. And we had 96 miles in Arizona yesterday. Really? That was amazing. But back to what Nolte writes. Miles and miles and miles of cars and boats. Imagine committing yourself to something like that. The logistics, the waiting, the inconvenience of losing an entire day. And we're seeing these expressions of support all over the place, even Beverly Hills, and they're huge. And, think about that. Think about Beverly Hills is a site. That's basically where Hollywood lives. You're seeing it's so in your face what people are doing there. I mean, is that amazing or what? And Arizona is a swing state. Okay, I mean, it's traditionally Republican, but I don't see anything like that for Biden. I'm not seeing anything of the sort. And yeah, I heard something. Obama was out. And there was this enthusiasm for Obama in a way that there was not for McCain and Romney. I mean, yeah, there was some rally in Pennsylvania at the last minute for Romney, and it was a big deal, but it wasn't enough to get him over the top. There was genuine enthusiasm for Obama. It's not there right now. It's there for Trump, and we didn't have that enthusiasm for McCain or Romney. I know, Ashley, you wanted to add something? But I want to make another point before we do that. Did you see the Cuban Americans in Miami, and not just at the rally yesterday? The songs in Spanish, like, I don't want to screw it up because I took Spanish in school, but I'm not that great at it. Voy a votar por Donald Trump, but I'm supposed to say it T-R-O-N, Tron, instead of T-R-U-M-P. And there are an M and a P in Spanish. It's not like W. But oh wait, Ashley, you wanted to say something?
No, I just want to say, especially, I was reading this article, and it says the big difference between Trump and others like Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney, or Jeb Bush, Trump has never sold us out or let us down. He's never betrayed us, He keeps his promises. He is our Muhammad Ali, a man who refuses to be anything other than his own man, who doesn't win them all, but who never quits on his soul. And that's exactly right. Donald Trump, we know he's never going to let us down. He tells something, we know he's going to do it. Unlike, Mitt Romney, who is a complete rhino now. He might as well call himself a Democrat after that.
Well, Romney could be compromised. I'm hearing stories about how a lot of the politicians get paid, and we learned so much about the Biden crime family of the last few days. Yeah, Joe looked very clean on his taxes because he funneled it through Hunter. But we heard a lot about Democrat children, or in Kerry's case, stepson in the Ukraine. We heard about Chris Hines, Kerry's stepson. We've heard about a Pelosi son. They're getting paid, essentially bribed that way. But there's another name we heard. That's Mitt Romney's son apparently is involved in this. So maybe there was a reason Mitt Romney has been acting in a way we might not have been expecting him to the last few years. Who knows what they have on him? And did they really need the money? They were so rich to begin. Well, I guess greed takes over after a certain point. And you know what? I can't let this broadcast go by without asking a quick question. Where's Hunter? Do you think Trump will bring that up today?
Absolutely. That's one of the first things he asks is, where's Hunter Biden? We don't know where he's at. Hunter probably doesn't even know where Hunter's at.
Well, that's true. I wonder, there's part of me thinks he may be, and this may be conspiracy theory, cooperating with the FBI, because I've seen some of the allegations, which I can't say on the air during a daytime of a family program. I'd probably be cooperating with the FBI too if I got caught doing all that stuff. Let me ask a question. We've seen enough rallies, you've been to enough rallies, that there are certain themes he comes to again and again. You've been to a lot of these. What are your favorites? What do you think the crowd's highlights are for when they watch the Trump rallies on viewer-supported RSBN or wherever else?
You know, I know personally my favorite is when he goes off script, he goes off teleprompter. And, you know, he kind of just says whatever rolls off his tongue. And that's what people love. They love the blunt honesty. They love, you know, he gets in trouble for it, but, you know, the crowds always love to chant, lock her up. You know, he's been in trouble for that, but he doesn't bring it on himself a lot of the times. A lot of the times the crowds have been bringing that up. But they just love to hear what he has to say. They love when he picks on the Democrats. Sometimes he even picks on other Republicans, and that's okay.
Well, what I love, and it's not one specific thing, is how he changes his train of thought in mid-sentence. You know, that's not what they teach you in speech and rhetoric class, but it's, you know, he goes on different trains of thought, and it creates, to me, a lot of the bond with the audience, because it's just like he's having a casual conversation. He's really a non-traditional speaker, but to me, a great speaker. Like, it's like, oh, I just thought of this. I'd really like to know how he prepares his speeches. Like, does he do it on the plane here? How does he make each one seem different? Obviously, again, there are themes that they come to. Now, Philip, you've gone to a lot of these. You've been doing this for viewer-supported RSBN for months now, and you've seen a lot of these. I'm curious, as I asked Ashley, what your favorite parts are. What puts a smile on your face?
Well, I haven't necessarily been here for months, but I've been to quite a few rallies within the last few weeks here, and not to mention the rallies I have been to on my own. The things that I like most about President Trump's rallies is he's not afraid to break a little glass to have a good time at a rally. And like Ashley was saying about the lock her up, when I was in high school in the 2016 election, I was a big fan of the lock her up chants. Me and my buddies would go to rallies and we would have a great time starting to chant lock her up. We thought it was great, and it was also the truth, because as we were talking about with the Biden family and the Clintons and the Romneys, there is corruption embedded deep in Washington, D.C. There is a deep, deep swamp, and President Trump was committed to draining it in 2016, and he has done it. And that's why we need to re-elect him for 4 more years, because he's exposing the swamp, and that's probably one of the greatest things about Trump rallies.
Yeah. I mean, lock her up we love, even though, to be honest, we know it's not the way our criminal justice services works, which might be a good thing in the long term. The president can't just lock someone up, but that's one of my favorite speeches. Now, if someone's watching a rally for the first time today, what do you think the most likely crowd chants are that we'll hear today? Lock her up may come up, and it comes up automatically if he brings up Hillary Clinton, and lock them up or lock him up for members of the Biden family. But what other chants do you expect the crowd? Now it's a pretty big crowd. We're almost full here. What do you think we'll hear today?
I think we'll hear "We love you." We hear that all the time. President Trump says he's never heard any other political candidate or president have that said to them ever before, and I don't think I've ever heard it before, and it has now become something that you hear at every single Trump rally. Almost every event that I've been to, I've heard it, the people chanting "We love you" because they love their president and how hard he is fighting for this country, which he loves so dearly and which everyone in this crowd loves dearly as well.
My favorite chant to hear is 4 more years. I think we're going to hear that one today. I think every single person here wants 4 more years of President Trump. You know, one of my favorite pictures of him is, if you can find it on Google, it's super easy, but he's hugging the American flag. And never have I seen a president show their love and affection for our country and our flag like President Donald Trump has. You know, I'm standing here, I'm watching all these people come in, and it's not stopping. You know, as the minutes go on, more and more people are rolling in. The overflow is getting pretty big. You know, everyone's standing anxiously awaiting President Trump. He should be here, you know, any minute now.
I want to add one thing about the chants. There was one late last night in the rally in Opelika, which is Miami, Florida. There was a new one, apparently. That's the crowd was shouting, "Fire Dr. Fauci." That's a new one. Apparently, according to Breitbart.com, the president began speaking about the ongoing effort to develop a coronavirus vaccine despite Democrat opposition. The crowd started chanting, "Fire Fauci! Fire Fauci!" That I hadn't heard before. That's new. And the president had a great response. "Don't tell anyone, but let me wait till a little after the election, please," the president responded. And he seemed surprised that the chant emerged. And the president is almost here. What do you think? Is he almost here? We never know for sure.
Well, we can never be too sure when the president's going to arrive here at any of his rallies. I did have word that the president was wheels up a bit ago from Miami, headed his way toward Fayetteville, North Carolina. I have seen some activity on the airfield here. Cop cars headed down to the end of the runway to intercept Air Force One as it lands, which it will be doing very shortly. Like I said, never can be exactly sure when the president is going to arrive, but when that moment does come, we will be sure to bring you live, uninterrupted coverage of that. Not exactly sure which way it'll be landing from or what time it will be here, but as I said, we will bring it to you live. That is one thing that RSBN has been committed to since 2016, is bringing you live, uninterrupted coverage of the Trump rallies, also always promising to show the crowd. In 2016, the Trump rallies were so large, and the mainstream media refused to say anything because they didn't want the people to see just exactly how strong the support was for our president. Times have changed since then. There is even more enthusiasm in 2020 than there ever was in 2016. The crowds are large. There was 57,000 people in Butler, Pennsylvania several nights ago at an airfield there to support the President of the United States. In 2016, if you had said that Donald Trump was going to pull 57,000 people to an airfield in Pennsylvania, many would say it's impossible. Well, Donald Trump has clearly proven them wrong time and time again, and he has made the impossible possible. The enthusiasm for this president is through the roof. The people love his message, and the mainstream media will not show the crowds. They refuse to go to every single event and give it live, uninterrupted coverage. But RSBN, Right Side Broadcast Network, is here for you. We have your back, and we will continue to give you live, uninterrupted coverage of every single Trump rally. So thank you so much for your support. It's only a matter of time here. The president will be taking that podium shortly and delivering his remarks to North Carolina to why they need to re-elect him for 4 more years, put him back in the White House for 4 more years, so that the people can continue to have a prosperous, growing, flourishing economic America, and that is exactly what the people want. The people do not want shutdowns. The people do not want restrictions, and ultimately what is being shown here is the opposite of a shutdown. It is people promoting their First Amendment right to freedom of speech and to protest, and that is exactly what this is here. It's people putting freedom above fear and really supporting their constitutional rights to protest and to have free speech. And if anything, this is a free speech movement that they can come here to this airfield and support the President of the United States. From your take as a lawyer, how do you think the president and these people are utilizing their First Amendment rights over the restrictions and the lockdowns to support the president?
I don't know where the government necessarily gets the right to do what it's doing. We're not at war. There's no war to be declared. It's interesting. I mean, they haven't necessarily been challenged, but I don't know. We're going to talk. We just got some breaking news from Israel about the first person treated with the vaccine, and we're going to get to that in a second. I'm going to turn it over, but I want to add something to this song. You know this song. You know about Hunter Biden, and I'm going to sing along in a second. I think you'll get the reference. All right, you going to join me in this? London Roberts is not my lover. She's just a girl who stripped at a club I frequented. But that kid is not Hunter Biden's son. All right. We're having fun here. It's the last day. Okay, you wanted to read the list of Trump's accomplishments?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to put that out there because I know we hear this regurgitated in the media over and over and over, and we kind of just get used to hearing it as statistics, but these are real people's lives and real accomplishments. So let me just go over a few of them with you. Almost 4 million jobs have been created since his last election. That's 4 million jobs. That's a lot of jobs. I mean, I know it's just a number, but that's a big deal. More Americans are now employed than ever recorded before in our history. Now, of course, this pandemic has kind of caused a little bit of issue with that, but we have seen that he is a good job creator. He has created more than 400,000 manufacturing jobs since his election, and Obama said that was impossible. So that goes to show again that Donald Trump will do what he says, and nothing is impossible. Economic growth last quarter hit 4.2%. And I also want to point out that African American and Hispanic American employment is at the lowest rate ever recorded. Again, that's a big deal. Those are people's jobs, those are people's livelihoods, those are people's ability to feed their family and not need government assistance. Also, youth unemployment has recently hit the lowest rate in nearly a half a century. Again, this pandemic has caused issues with our economy, but again, that was no fault of the president's. 95% of the U.S. manufacturers are optimistic about the future, and that is the highest level ever. Also, taxes are lower. Donald Trump also helps win the U.S., Mexico, Canada United bid for the 2026 World Cup. And a record number of regulations have been eliminated. There is a whole list of accomplishments. I could go on and on and on, but we don't have time for all of that today. I encourage you all to look them up. If you are questioning any of his accomplishments, they're all there on whitehouse.gov.
Now, when I was just on goofing around, putting in alternate lyrics to Billie Jean with Hunter Biden and London Roberts, I mentioned before that, more seriously, the talk of a coronavirus vaccine, which definitely would throw a wrench in the plans for lockdown. Here is an article that just came out on Breitbart. Israel's first coronavirus vaccine volunteer leaves hospital in high spirits. This is by Deborah Danon at Breitbart.com. The first volunteer for Israel's new coronavirus vaccine has been released from hospital after receiving the initial dose in human trials, saying he feels great and hopes the whole world will soon benefit from the Israeli vaccine. That's a big deal. 50 million shots of the vaccine, called BriLife or BriLife, are already being produced by the Defense Ministry-run Israel Institute for Biological Research. I don't think there even are 15 million people in Israel, so this is meant to be shared with the world. Sheba Medical Center in Ramat Gan on Sunday, the Times of Israel reported. I'm here after spending the night in Sheba Medical, and now I'm going home, and I feel great, and I hope we will bring the vaccine to Israel and to the whole world. Eitan Ben Ami, a Sheba doctor conducting the trial, told newspaper. The first patient was kept in hospital for 24 hours to observe him in case of any adverse effects, and there were none. Everything has been really smooth, blah, blah, blah. The first phase of the clinical trial will last approximately a month and will involve some 80 healthy volunteers aged 18 to 55, the report said. The second phase, beginning in December, will vaccinate around 1,000 volunteers aged 18 to 85 at 8 hospitals around the country. This phase will also allow volunteers with pre-existing conditions to participate. If that phase goes well and antibodies are detected in the volunteers' blood, vaccinations will then be given to some 30,000 people in April or May 2021. That's less than 6 months. Following that, it will receive approval for general use around July. So this is a big deal. Major progress, not necessarily in the U.S., but with a vaccine for coronavirus. And I just want to add some additional information.
Not to cut you off there, but Air Force One, I believe, is arriving right now, about to land here at Fayetteville Regional Airport. It's going to be touching down here, wheels down. Any moment, the President of the United States on board that plane. Just a matter of time before it touches down. I imagine it's probably going to land right in front of the crowd here, which will be quite the shot. And as soon as it does land, we are going to have that for you. Right now it's behind those trucks, but there it is, Air Force One in all of her glory, carrying the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. And you have just seen it here for the first time today, President Trump arriving in Fayetteville, North Carolina at the airport. So that is quite something. He will be energetic and he will be passionate as he makes his case for why he needs 4 more years in the White House to help make America great again, as the president likes to say. Any moment here, Air Force One will be taxiing up the runway, and he will be getting off, and as soon as he does, we're going to bring you live uninterrupted coverage of that. We're expecting the president to make his case here of why he needs 4 more years as Commander-in-Chief, and it'll be just a matter of time before the president gets off the plane behind me and he goes and delivers an address at that podium to the people of North Carolina. It'll be interesting to see what the president has to say, what his closing remarks are, how he's going to talk to the people of North Carolina as he ultimately wraps up this campaign. This has been something that has consumed the world of politics for the last 4 years, since the moment that he decided he was going to run for president. And this is kind of the end. If the president wins tomorrow, who knows what will happen next. But as far as the 2020 campaign season goes, we are in the final hours of the 2020 campaign season, and who knows what the mainstream, lamestream media, MSDNC, fake news, CNN is going to do when Donald Trump isn't in office anymore, because they won't have fake stories to put out. So I think the energy in politics is kind of a bittersweet day here as we realize this is the end of the 2020 campaign, and next time around there will not be another President Trump campaigning for re-election. So really what we are witnessing here is historic and groundbreaking. This will be one of the final remarks that this president makes for his re-election campaign as he disembarks Air Force One, which is right down there. Go ahead and we can pan to it. The president on that plane making his way down the runway, down the taxiway, taxiing over here to the crowd. People are fired up. They're waving their signs. People are dancing. There's smiles on everyone's faces, and surely there will be victory for President Trump come November 3rd, which is tomorrow in North Carolina. I believe he's going to win the state by quite a bit. There was a massive crowd last night in Hickory, and there's quite a large crowd here in Fayetteville, North Carolina for the President of the United States. Everyone holding up their phones and taking pictures with their children or taking pictures themselves with Air Force One right there. Like I said, truly a historic moment in United States political history. This will be one of the last speeches that President Donald J. Trump gives for his re-election campaign before he is re-elected president tomorrow night on election day. Tomorrow is going to be a truly energy-filled, exciting day as we see the people come out in droves to vote for Donald J. Trump, and I'm excited to see exactly what will happen. There is Air Force One taxiing its way to the podium here. The president will get off at any moment as we see it pull up, with just tremendous support here, and tremendous support here in North Carolina as the president arrives. Air Force One is always such a beautiful sight to see. You see it pull up, it's always clean, and there's just something about it that resonates, kind of like the seal on the presidential seal on the podium does. It just has quite a glorious ring to it when you see it, and the energy is building here as the plane gets closer and closer, and I imagine it's only a matter of time before we will hear Lee Greenwood's "God Bless the USA" play, and the president will disembark that plane. It's something that's quite truly fantastic to see. What are your thoughts every time you see Air Force One? What do you think about it? How does it resonate with you?
It's magical. I mean, it's an experience that I can't even express. I mean, the amount of patriotism that I feel when I see it coming down the runway, coming on the tarmac. I mean, I can't even express to you how exciting this is. Oh, here we go. The door is open. Everyone's getting excited. Everyone has their hands up, their phones ready, taking video. The flag's waving. The music's playing. You guys, this is such an experience. I wish each and every one of you viewers could be here with us right now to feel the power that we feel at a rally like this.
Thank you so much for that, Ashley. I appreciate it a lot. The Stairs, the air stairs, are making their way towards the plane right now. I believe the media is going to unload the plane first and work their way back here towards the press stands. And then it'll be shortly after that, we'll see the president unload from Air Force One and make his way out here to the crowd of people who want to re-elect him. There's a sea of red hats here today, and I imagine tomorrow there will be a great red wave sweep across the United States. Tomorrow is truly an important day in American politics. It will be a compass for the future of the United States. The fate of America is ultimately in this election. Will we be a radical left socialist nation with no police and no borders? Or will we be a strong law and order country who believes in traditional American values? The choice has never been more clear as people want to select President Trump to be their fighter tomorrow. And I think that there will be an overwhelming turnout for President Trump. Adam, what are some of your thoughts about how the president's going to deliver his message here today and what his final statements will be to the people of North Carolina?
Boy, you're putting me on the spot. Well, I would say if the president were a normal human being, he would say it very tiredly, exhaustedly. I wouldn't. I'm a lot younger than he is. But he's going to work the crowd. I imagine this will be sort of his warm-up speech of the day. He's going to really stick it to Joe in Scranton, Joe. But I guess he got a decent night of sleep. This is his first one of the day, so we'll have some fire. I think he's going to remind people to get out and vote. He might even be a little more subdued. It might be get out the vote. We still have more than 24 hours left to get people voting. I imagine it'll be a little more subdued, actually, but I may be totally wrong.
You know, watching President Trump do these rallies month after month is exciting. It's fun, you know. It's almost like going to the theater and watching an act. But today is the day before the election. It's serious. It's game time now. There's no more joking around. I mean, this is our future. You know, as the mother of 2 children, as the wife of an active duty Marine, I care so deeply about this country and the direction that it can go into. And I am praying that each and every one of you get out, go vote, you know, take everyone in your household who is of voting age and vote for real Donald Trump. Vote against socialism. Vote for freedom. Vote for capitalism. Vote for a strong military. Vote for religious liberty.
Thank you so much for that, Ashley. Just any moment here, the President of the United States will step off Air Force One and, like I have said, deliver his final remarks to the people of the United States, to the people of North Carolina, as to why he needs to be re-elected for 4 more years. There needs to be 4 more years of President Donald Trump in order to secure our border, in order to have law and order, in order to make sure that we are protecting the life of the unborn, to make sure we are protecting our Constitution. And the case has never been more clear why people need to re-elect President Trump, as I've said time and time again, and I imagine it's only a matter of time here before the president steps off the plane. The media is deplaning off the back from the air stairs, and that is usually just the things that happen first. They get off Air Force One and work their way into the crowd or work their way towards the back in the press area where we are here. And then the crowd will build hype, and they will get ready, and they will cheer, and they will scream, and the President of the United States will deplane and make his way down to the podium. If you notice, there's a gentleman walking up. He's going to be putting the president's remarks on the podium right now, his hard copy remarks. He does read off the teleprompter, but also the president has remarks prepared on paper, which is smart just in case the teleprompters were to go down. He has a hard copy. And the music is getting very loud here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which makes me think that the president will be stepping out at any moment. I can barely hear myself speaking into the microphone. That's how loud the music is. And the crowd is building hype for the president, and everyone's holding up their phones, taking videos, taking photos, ready to see the president of the United States walk off Air Force One right now, which will be happening very shortly. And of course, we are bringing you live coverage of that here on RSB Network. You can follow us on all of our social medias at RSB Network, or you can go to our website at www.rsbnetwork.com. And you will not want to miss going there, because we are always bringing you uninterrupted coverage of every single event that the president is going to have. And I imagine going forward there will be more and more to come. So please stay tuned with RSBN, and we will continue to do our part to make sure that there is fair journalism. And for every rally up until the end of today,
Gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless
Thank you, Fayetteville and North Carolina. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we are going to win this state, and we are going to win 4 more years in our great White House. With your vote, we will continue to cut your taxes, cut regulations, support our great police, support our fantastic military, care for our veterans, protect your Second Amendment, defend religious liberty, and ensure more products are proudly stamped with that wonderful phrase, made in the USA. Next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. Under my leadership, our economy is now growing at the fastest rate ever recorded, 33.1%, just announced last week. We created a record 11.4 million jobs in the last 5 months. It's a number that we never even thought possible. Nobody did. Nobody thought it was possible. And we're going to now even do better than that. It's going very rapidly. While foreign nations are in a free fall, you see what's going on with so many nations in Europe, unfortunately. I say that with sadness. We are creating an economic powerhouse unrivaled anywhere in the world. A recent Gallup poll found that 56% of Americans say they are better off today than they were 4 years ago under Obama and Biden. You got to remember that. You got to remember that kind of thing. They didn't do a good job. In fact, if they did, I wouldn't have run. If they did, I wouldn't be here right now. They did a bad job. And Obama, he went out yesterday with Biden. They got like 14 people. They didn't have too many. They didn't have too good a crowd. And we have 5 of these today. 5. We have some big ones. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I love you too, and I appreciate that. We appreciate it. I was thinking coming in, because I watch these fake polls, everyone, no matter if we're up by 10, if we know we're going to win easily, he's down by 1 point. He's down by 1. I just watched this fake stuff, and I was saying to myself, you know, we've been under a phony, fake, hoax investigation for 3 years. Nothing but bad and really corrupt publicity from these people. And I say, I wonder what the difference would have been had it been legit, right? Had it been legit. And it turned out to be just the opposite. They were the ones that committed the crimes, not us. But I wonder what it would have been. I probably would have been a little bit easier, but you know, the good news, we're going to win anyway. We're going to shove it. We're going to win anyway. I wonder what it would have been. I wonder what it would have been if all of the nonsense wasn't brought up. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Looking tremendous in Florida, so of course they don't mention that. You know, it's Florida. We are looking good. We're really looking good all over. In the real polls, not the Fox polls. Those Fox polls. There's somebody in Fox doesn't like me very much, I can tell you. They are the phoniest polls, and they were almost as bad 4 years ago. Actually, they were worse. But you get some of these pollsters, they work magic. And the amazing thing is, and they hang on to their jobs. They do horribly. Look at what they did last. I had 9 states, and I had to win them all. And they said I was going to lose all 9. This is 4 years ago. I was going to lose all 9. It was going to be a very short evening for Donald Trump. And the poll said decisively I was going to lose all 9. And that was the day before. And I won all 9. I won it all. Or I wouldn't be here right now. No, I won all 9. It said we're going to lose all 9. And it was quite depressing as I turned on the television. Let's see how we did. He won Florida. He won South Carolina. And I'm saying, what? No, but thank you. And then they said they're getting rid of the guy like at Fox. I heard they were getting rid of that pollster, and they kept him. And they have others they kept. And you wonder what kind of a business that is. You wonder what kind. We have a case where in Wisconsin we're one up.
And I left there a couple of days ago. We had a rally, you wouldn't believe it, packed, just like last night, like here, but like last night. This was the section, you know, I wanted to come. This is considered a small, beautiful, cute, little, wonderful section. And they asked me, and I said, I want to be there. No, and every vote counts. It's very important. We had something last night in Miami. You would not have believed it. I don't know who saw it on television. I don't know. But you look at some of these results in Wisconsin. So, you know, whether I'm up one or down one, it's right in that thing. I think we're going to win Wisconsin because we have a lot of people that say, we don't want to talk to you, and then they go vote for Trump, right? You know, the hidden voter or whatever they call them. Somebody said they're the shy voters. My people are not shy. They're not shy. But in Wisconsin, so they said, ABC News, which is, in my opinion, corrupt, but they're all corrupt. ABC News, Washington Post, which is basically a lobbyist, as far as I'm concerned, for Amazon. It's just a lobbyist. So they didn't say, like, he's 2 down, 3 down, 4 down, a fake poll. They said Trump is 17 points down in Wisconsin. Now, the real number, I mean, you know, I could lose it, I could win it. I think it's, you know, I don't know how I'm not. I did a lot of good things for Wisconsin, but, you know, let's say it's even. And I call up a great pollster, John. I say, John, let me ask you a question. I think we're 1 up in Wisconsin, but ABC, Washington Post, they did the same thing 4 years ago, if you remember, very close to the election. They said we're down 12. And then we won, right? But we were down 12. And it's disheartening. It's called suppression. What it does is it suppresses people. They say, well, listen, we love the president, but if he can't win. So ABC, but they did it 4 years ago, and we complained bitterly with a very good lawyer. I had very good lawyers in those days. We complained very bitterly, and they changed it right before the election. I think it was 1, right? We're down 1. They took it from 12 to 1 in like about 15 seconds. And I realized, I said, this is a phony business. But now they come down and it says 17 down in Wisconsin, 17. So I called John McLaughlin. He's like the dean. He's a great guy. And he's been very good with me. I mean, he said we were going to win 4 years ago. He said we're going to win easily this one. He's probably the biggest and the best. I said, John, let me ask you a question. ABC Washington Post came out with a poll. It said I was 17 down. I'm not 17 down. I might be 1 down, or I might be 2 up, but I'm not 17 down. What's going on? Why don't they make it at least? Because they have to live after that. They have to do other events and other. Why don't they make it 3 or 4 or 2 or 5 or something, right? They said they can't do that because they want you to lose. And if you're 2 or 3 or 4, everyone's going to go vote. They want to make sure that your people don't vote. And when you're 17 down, people say, I just can't waste my time. I'm not going to stand on line. And I said, isn't that sick? And he said he knows some of the people, and they're very smart. They're very brilliant. They're smart people. He said, but if they made it 5 down or 4 down or 6 down even, so they make it something that's so bad, 17 down. I said, isn't that a shame? I want to tell that story. Do you mind? He said, I don't care. That's the way it is. So it's crooked stuff. The Fox polls are horrible. Every time I have a Fox poll, it's horrible. I mean, I like some of the things on Fox. Certainly Sean and Laura. And Tucker's been great lately. And Fox and Friends in the morning is great, right? We go through them. We have some, I find Harris to be great. Harris Faulkner to be really good. She's been very good over a period of time. The great Lou Dobbs, he's been fantastic, right? Right? Janine, how do you like Janine, right? And, you know, look, we have some great people that support us. Jesse has been great. Pete Hegseth has been great. And I don't want to mention, you know, there are a lot of people. Look, we have a lot, but it's 90% negative. Everything, you know, everything. It's but so think of that. So I said 17, and he gave me an answer. I just thought it was so incredible. I said, I got to tell that answer. So I hope I haven't bored you, but I thought it was interesting. Huh? I thought it was interesting. To me, it was interesting. And you know, I have like 5 of these to do today, so let's get going. And I appreciate you being here. We had some monsters last night. We had some little rough weather. It wasn't like this. We had In Michigan, we had a slightly cold day with the wind blowing at 40 miles an hour in my face. And you're lucky you have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter. I was able to good memory. I would have been in big trouble. There was no way you could hold paper. There was no way you could do it. You would just, and my guy set it up where the wind was right smack in my face. And I was looking at that flag from the plane. I said, oh no, here we go again. But actually, the flag must be a very high quality silk because it's not that windy. But yesterday it was not, that was not an easy day. We had some very cold stops. So Biden and Harris, Kamala, you want her? You want her as your first woman president? I don't think so. And the radical left gain power. They will collapse our economy and send our nation into a depression. Biden will raise your taxes $4 trillion, massively increase your regulations, close down your factories, send your jobs overseas. That's what he's been doing all his life. Him and his group, destroy the suburbs, dissolve your borders, terminate religious liberty, outlaw private health insurance. 180 million people have great health insurance. Shred your Second Amendment, confiscate your guns, and indoctrinate your children with anti-American lies. Biden has vowed to abolish the American oil and natural gas industries and ban fracking. He said it for a year and a half, he said it. Then all of a sudden he goes to Pennsylvania. No, I never said that. And the fake news doesn't do anything about it. Biden's energy ban will send every state into crushing poverty from North Carolina to Michigan to Pennsylvania. As long as I'm president, we will remain the #1 producer of oil and natural gas on Earth. And we will remain energy independent. Sleepy Joe Biden is a globalist who spent 47 years outsourcing your jobs, opening your borders, and sacrificing American blood and treasure in endless foreign wars in countries that most of you have never even heard of. He was a cheerleader for NAFTA, and they're all coming home. Don't worry about it. I said it. He was a cheerleader for NAFTA and China's entry into the World Trade Organization. North Carolina lost 50% of all manufacturing jobs after those Biden betrayals. And now he says, oh, he's trying to follow my policy. He's trying to follow my policy. He's not going to do my policy. He's been doing this for 47 years plus, and for 8 years as vice president, which was only 3.5 years ago. Joe Biden is a corrupt politician who raked in millions from China while giving them your jobs. He's a corrupt politician. You see it. Now they say the laptop, Schiff, watermelon head, Schiff. That laptop was produced by Russia. Here we go again. Russia. Here we go again. Can you imagine what they must think of it? These people are crazy. No, it was produced by, where's Hunter? That's right. It was produced by Hunter. These guys are really, think of it, now Schiff knows, he's psycho in many ways, but he knows. It's a total con game. I had to put up with it for 3 years. And it affects it, when you see nothing but negative television every night. And then they find totally no collusion after wasting $48 million, 18 people, think of it. And then it's no collusion, but then you have to run. But you've had 3 years of horrible publicity. And they did it. I mean, they did it. They were the criminals. Hillary was a criminal. She deleted her emails. People go to jail for that. These are criminals. These are criminals. And say it any way you want to do it. But we took the brunt that we caught him spying on my campaign and trying to overthrow a duly elected president of the United States. So I go, and that was before I even knew. I mean, that was while I was running. I didn't even know. I'd hear these things, sir. This is before I got elected. guys would come up to me every once in a while. Sir, do you have anything to do with Russia? I said, no, why do you ask? Oh, I was just curious, because it was like this thing floating around. Then they come up again, sir, are you sure you don't have anything to do with Russia? I said, I have nothing to do with Russia. What the hell are you talking? And you hear it 4 or 5 times. Then you get into office and they come up with this scheme and this plot. It was a plot to overthrow the government of the United States. And then we have people that just don't act fast. I mean, it's just unbelievable. We have so much information. We have the whole thing. And Obama was involved. And Biden was involved. They were involved, but it's let's see what happens. People should move more quickly. In 2016, North Carolina voted to fire this corrupt political establishment, and you elected an outsider as president who is finally putting America first. And if I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, it's because I'm not a politician. If I don't always play by the rules of the Washington establishment, it's because I was elected to fight for you, and I fight harder than any president has ever fought for his people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Get out and vote. That's all I ask. Just take a little time and vote. Vote. We got to win this state. I think we win this state. We win Pennsylvania. We're going to win Florida. We win Pennsylvania, and we're going to win the whole thing. We're going to win the whole thing. And we'll send them a signal like they've never seen before. This has not happened to them. Big tech is so powerful. You can't beat big tech, they're saying this. And I see it on Twitter. Trending, right? It's not trending. They put the most boring thing. Only if it was anything bad about me. #1 in the world on trend, right? Boring stuff. I mean, like stuff, as opposed to affairs, scandals. They don't even put that stuff up. It's always Trump, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. It's a fix. It's a fix. This is a smart guy. We have his name. Everybody knows who he is. And I'm not talking about the primary, I'm talking about people that work. They take stuff out of a hat. Let's see, this is bad about Trump. Let's make it worse. Okay, we'll make it worse. Okay, #1 trend in the whole world. No, that's not stuff that trends, but these are phony guys. They fix the elections. And you know what? They should be subject to campaign violations because they're an arm of the Democrat National Committee. They work together. They work on messaging together. The Democrats, the fake news media, they're the worst. They're fake people. And if I've done one thing, it's to expose the dishonesty in the media. And not everybody, but a vast majority. Not everybody. Look at this. We catch Hunter and Joe cheating. We catch them stealing millions of dollars. They refuse to write a story. Could you imagine if I got $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife? Could you imagine? Somebody gave me $3.5 million. Somebody gave me $20. They impeached me because I made a perfect phone call to the head of Ukraine. I never met the gentleman. Congratulations on your win. If you see anything corrupt, please call the Attorney General of the United States. And we have a corruption agreement with them because it's been a very corrupt country. I actually have an obligation. Now, of course, they impeached before I decided to release the phone call. Isn't it lucky that I had that call transcribed? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Now they couldn't do it. They didn't know what to do. Crazy Nancy said, this isn't impeachable. She said, you're right. They said, you're right. But let's go through with it anyway. Maybe we'll get lucky. Because she didn't know about the call. When she read the call, she said, he didn't do anything wrong. How did you get me into this? You shifty shift. How did you do it? Jerry Nadler. I've been fighting this guy for 25 years on the east side of Manhattan, the west side of Manhattan. Jerry Nadler, he's a beauty, isn't he? How did you get me into this? Well, let's just keep going forward. It's a disgrace. And we won. I will say this for the Republicans. 197 or 197 to nothing. We won. And in the Senate, 52.5 to 1/2. We lost a half a vote. I wonder who that could have been. But Sleepy Joe Biden is bought and paid for by China. He's got, hey, they gave the son $1.5 billion to manage. That means he's going to make millions of dollars a year. He doesn't know anything about investment. Didn't know anything at all about energy. He got $183,000 a month on energy. Think of that. Think of that. $183,000. I called a friend of mine on Wall Street. Is this a normal fee? He said, no, maybe the most abnormal fee I've ever seen in my whole life. I've been doing this for 25 years. He's the biggest guy. But they're bought and paid for. They got the money. And then they were going for the big one in China. They wrote a letter to a very big, powerful man within the Communist Party. And where's Hunter asked for $10 million a year as he was going to recommend, he was going to talk. You're going to see, here's a guy didn't have a job, got thrown out of the Navy. He got thrown out of the Navy. He didn't have a job. Biden becomes vice president. And this kid is like a vacuum cleaner going all over the world, following his father, picking up the scraps. No, he's following his dad, picking up scraps. And then you find the note where the big man gets 10%. The big man's Joe Biden. Huh? The big man gets 10. Then in one case, they said 50%, right? That's more like it. Because he wouldn't do it for 10. He'd want, because these people are all hangers-on, losers. But that's the story. And it's in a laptop. And now they say the laptop was made by Russia, therefore it has no credibility. Can you believe this, all right? And so the news, there's not, outside of the New York Post, which really I hold in high esteem, they're like a hero paper. And they endorsed me. I got a nice endorsement from, did you say, from Pennsylvania yesterday, right? Pittsburgh Gazette. That was nice. Once I got through that first paragraph, it was phenomenal, actually. They said, we don't love his personality. We don't love his tough demeanor. But I have to be tough. Look, I've been under investigation from before I ever became president. I have to be tough. If I was soft, I wouldn't be here right now. And they don't want to say that. I was under a fake investigation by a lot of fake people. Bob Mueller and his crew. The whole thing was a fake scam that should have never been started. And they knew the answer on the first day. But it took them 2.5 years to put it down. No collusion. But they knew the answer the first day. So I was under investigation for the first 2.5 years, right? Think of that. And then they say he's tough. But I'll take it anyway. I'll take their endorsement anyway. Because once you get over the first paragraph or two, it says all of the things we've done, which are incredible. And now we'll have a chance to do it without the cloud, because I had a cloud hanging over my head, whether we like it or not. And then they say he was tough. He fought too hard. He was somewhat crude. He was very, very nasty. His Twitter. Now, you know what? If I didn't have social media, I wouldn't be here. It was the only way I could defend myself. So it's one of those things. But I just wonder, I was thinking, I asked the people on the way up, we have great people, such loyal, great people, including a man that comes from an area not too far from here. He's a good friend of these women who've been here. This is number 64 time for these incredible, beautiful, I think rich women, and their husbands are in here someplace. But they had their husbands, they were at the one last night. That was a big deal, wasn't it? But this is number 64, I would say, right? 65. Oh, there's two more. They come from North Carolina, but we have Mark Meadows comes from North Carolina. And he has been fantastic. He's done a great job. Where is he? He's probably working. You know, he's bum with a phone. He's got two phones instead of one. And he's not going to break it up with a hammer like Hillary did. He's going to throw it away. He'll come down, watch. He's done a fantastic job. And he loves this state. He loves North Carolina. And I specifically said, I want somebody from North Carolina, give me Meadows. Now, I knew 3 years ago, I said, we got to get Meadows in here. Big tech, big media, big donors, and powerful special interests are desperate for Sleepy Joe to win. They want him to win. I'll tell you who wants him to win, China. They will own our country because they own him, they control him, and they know he will always be there to do their bidding. He'll always be there. He's a corrupt politician. I don't care, I'll say. And I say it, everybody knows it's true. Can you imagine? Big tech refuses to put anything in. They took the New York Post down for 2 weeks because they won't let anyone write. If you put out a little tweet and say that Biden is corrupt, they will knock out your whole account. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. And you notice, it is, outside of what I say, it is indeed fading away. Because you can't have a scandal if nobody writes about it. So we have the fake news not writing about it, and you have the big tech not writing. So how can you have a scandal? Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's allowed to talk. It's called suppression. We don't have freedom of the press. We probably haven't had it for a long time. But we don't have, they say freedom of the press, the American way. We have suppression by the press. That's what it is. What beautiful words. I should have done the speech this way. It would have been much more interesting. No, but seriously, we have suppression by the press. This is not freedom. This is it really is. It's the exact opposite of freedom of the press, if you think about it. Every corrupt force in American life that is responsible for cruel betrayals that hurt our family and all of the people that we love, they're supported by Biden and they donate to Biden. I could have been a much bigger fundraiser than him, but I didn't want to call every head of a Wall Street firm, every head of the oil companies that we've made rich anyway. I did a great job. We're energy independent. That's not so bad. First time. The failed establishment that started the disastrous foreign wars, they support Sleepy Joe Biden because they get anything they want. And he took in $300 million last month. You think he made any deals? No, I don't think so. The career politicians that offshored your industries and decimated your factories, they support Sleepy Joe. The open borders lobbyists that killed our fellow citizens with illegal drugs, gangs, and crimes. The people that wanted to stop the wall, even though it knew it works. It's almost finished, by the way. Be finished very soon. But the people that wanted to stop it, even though they knew full well it worked. Remember, they said, no, we don't want a wall. Walls are obsolete. We want drones. Drones. Okay, good. Drones flying to watch the people pour into our country. They want drones. Let's have drones. The far-left Democrats that ruined our public schools, depleted our inner cities, defunded our police, and demeaned your sacred faith and values, they support Sleepy Joe Biden. You can't even go to your churches. You can't even go to your church. And you're governor of North Carolina. You got to open up your state. You got to get your governor. I hope you're going to vote for Dan, who's good. But you got to get your state open. Don't worry about it. On November 4th, they'll announce your state is opening. On November 4th, North Carolina will be opened on November 4th. Right after the election. Because they want us to look bad. They don't care about people. They want us to look bad. They want to try and steal an election. The anti-American radicals defaming our noble history, our heritage, our heroes, they support Sleepy Joe. Antifa and the rioters and looters and Marxists and left-wing extremists, they all support Joe Biden. They always like to blame it on the right. You ever notice? These were right-wing, and it's very rare. It's rare. You get bad on every side, but they always like to blame the right. It always starts off with the right, the right. This election comes down to a simple choice. Do you want to be ruled by the arrogant, corrupt, ruthless, and selfless political class? Or do you want to be governed by the American people themselves. Do you want to be represented by a career politician who hates you, or by an outsider who will defend you like you have never been defended before? I didn't need this job. I had a very nice life, but I love what we're doing for our country. Nobody's done so much. Nobody, no administration, and you know, I never even had a challenge on this from the fake news. You know, normally if you say something slightly off, they make a big deal. No administration, president, has done more in the first 3.5 years than we have. Our military we rebuilt, our tax cuts, our regulation cuts, Space Force, just a thing like Space Force. I never even talked about Space Force, right, during the campaign. I did more than I actually talked about during the campaign. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. I thought this was a small, little, cute area. You know, this was a small, little, cute area. When I came in, I'm watching Fox, and a gentleman, an anchor, said, they have a small crowd of about 2,000, 2,500. I knew. You know, it's an incredible thing. This is a lot more than that. This is a lot of people. This is a lot more than we. But I wanted to be here because it's an important thing. I mean, my granddaughter is named Carolina. Do you know that? And we'll give South Carolina some credit, too. You know, they've been with us. Is that okay? I want to get your permission. No, we'll give South Carolina. South Carolina is great. They're great people, too. A vote for Biden is a vote to hand the keys to government over to people who despise you and who want to rob your children of their American dream. That's what they're doing. A vote for Biden is a vote to give control of government over to the globalists, communists, socialists, the wealthy, liberal hypocrites who want to silence, censor, cancel, and punish you. If you want your children to be safe, and remember this, I'll put it very simply, against the Second Amendment, right? If you're pro-life, you can forget about it. You know that, right? Tremendous support. I'll tell you what, did you see these people in California? They have lines of hundreds of miles of cars and tractors in Iowa and boats, 5,000 or 6,000 boats in lakes and oceans with the flags. If you want your values to be respected, if you want to be treated with honor and dignity and respect, then I am asking for you to go out tomorrow or sooner, but I don't know, you tend to like to vote on election day, right? We all do. And vote. It's going to be the most important election, in my opinion, in the history of our country. I never thought I was going to say it. If you would have told me I was going to say that 4 years ago, I would have said, you're crazy. But it's the most important because I've always said, we will never be a socialist nation. And that's what they're trying to target. And remember what I said 4 years ago. I said, I am your voice, and we will make America great again. And that's what we're doing. And if we didn't get hit by the China plague, now we're building it up again, and we're doing it at record clip and record numbers and at a much faster pace than any other country in the world. But we got hit by the plague from China, and we will never forget it. With God as my witness, I will never let you down. For the last 4 years, the depraved swamp has tried everything to stop me because they know I don't answer to them, I answer to you. Together, we will defeat the corrupt establishment, we will dethrone the failed political class, and we will drain the Washington swamp. and we will save the American dream. This election is also a choice between a deadly Biden lockdown. He wants to have you locked down. I don't even know if he knows. I mean, to be honest, they ask him a question. I don't think he has a clue. You can vote whoever you want, but I don't think he has a clue. You know it. The media knows it. The media laughs behind his back, and then they say, he did brilliantly today. No, he didn't do brilliantly. He didn't do brilliantly in his prime. And he's not in his prime anymore. Or a safe vaccine that ends the pandemic, and we're doing very well with the vaccines. They'll be distributed very soon. We will mass distribute the vaccine in just a few short weeks. It will quickly eradicate the virus and wipe out the China plague once and for all. Joe Biden is promising to delay the vaccine and turn America into a prison state. Looking, again, that's more Kamala, you know? Remember when they said, this is the Harris-Biden administration, right? I never did that with Mike. And you know what? Mike Pence never came to me. He said, do you mind if I put my name first every once in a while? No, because, and by the way, he's been a great vice president. Some people say it was a perfect combination. It was. He's a great guy. He's going to be in your state in a little while, locking you in your home while letting far-left rioters roam free. The Biden lockdown will mean no school, no graduations, no weddings, no Thanksgiving, no Easter, no Christmas, no 4th of July, and no future for America's youth. Other than that, it's fine. I think it's just fine. If you want a vaccine to kill the virus, a job to support your family, and freedom to live your life, then you go and cast your ballot for President Trump. And if you remember the catastrophe, Joe Biden, he's telling us how to run things, right? This guy never ran a thing successfully. He said horrible things about him when he was in the administration. Obama didn't even want to endorse him. He wouldn't endorse him. Even after he won, Obama said, this is no way. How long did it take him after he won? It took forever. Obama couldn't believe it. I don't think Obama's much better. You want to know the truth? Joe Biden personally ran the swine flu, right? The swine flu, H1N1, which he can never remember. He never says it. He says it, he goes N1H1. I said, no. He failed horribly, and he was a laughingstock all over Washington. They were laughing at him, and his own chief of staff said he was absolutely terrible. They did a terrible job. Now he's telling us how to do it. I should have closed earlier. There's only one problem. He's on record all over the place, knocking me 2.5 months later for closing too soon. And closing it all. He said, don't close. He's xenophobic. You know, he's xenophobic. I didn't like people from China is what he's saying. It's so wrong. I think they're incredible people. I do. I think they're incredible people. But he said xenophobic. And then he runs for office. He says he should have closed earlier. And you know what? The press never covers that. You can't get, the only time I get it covered is if I happen to be on live television. I'll say it again and again. And when I do say it, they try and turn it off. Let's go to a commercial break right now. I think I know what's coming. These are really bad people. Secretary of Defense Robert Gates said that Biden has been wrong on nearly every major foreign policy and national security issue over the past 4 decades. He had no respect for him whatsoever. Sure, he endorsed him because he's probably looking for something like everybody else, but I don't think any of them are going to get anything, because I think we're going to have one of the greatest victories tomorrow. But you don't have to take my word for what a disaster Joe Biden is, because it's the great state of North Carolina. I spent a fortune. See this? See the board? I spent a lot of money on the board. So let's just take a look at a little roll. Let's roll it, please.
Have you taken a cognitive?
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
By the way, it's my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, this guy.
Hell, you switched on me. This is my wife. This is my sister. They switched on me. But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black. There is not a single solitary reason in the world why, as I said, we shouldn't be in a position that everybody, and that's my wife, Jill. Hey, Jilly, I'm Jill's husband, actually. And Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did, and back in those days, you see how things have changed? Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear words. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by, you know the thing. Because if you could take care, you were a quartermaster, you can sure and hell take care of running a, department store thing, where in the second floor of the ladies' department. You know what I mean? Well, I'm sick and tired of smart guys. The rapidly rising I don't know. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. Why attack Sanders? Why? You're getting nervous, man. What kind of country are we going to be? 4 more years of George, going to find ourselves in a position where, if Trump gets elected, we're going to be in a different world. We have to come together. That's why I'm running. I'm running as a proud Democrat for the Senate. And by the way, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun, and the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap. Rock and I think it's a right for people to have bad care. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourselves. Our country has such potential. You can't do that to our country. He's not mentally equipped. He just isn't to be your president. He's not equipped to be your president. And I say it because he's not a nice person, never was a nice person, but he was never a smart person. He was a touchy-feely person, hale and hearty, but not nice. But this is not a man that 25 years ago was not equipped to be your president. And he ran many times, numerous times. We called him 1% Joe. Think of it. And now he's working on about 50%, and he ends up winning their nomination. Because of Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren gave him the nom. All she had to do is drop out. And he would have lost on then we would have had crazy Bernie, so, what the hell. But at least Bernie, they had a great energetic base. It's small base, but energetic. But this is not a man that should be your president. We have tremendous potential. Our country has tremendous potential. And we can't blow it. We can't blow it. Because there's no way to describe that. And that's like 1%. We could keep you out here all day. Much of it happened yesterday and the day before yesterday. Oh, he had some beauties yesterday. But we can't do this. And you know what's going to happen. Kamala will be put in that position very quickly. Very quickly. And she's more liberal than crazy Bernie. She's more liberal. In fact, she makes him look like a strict conservative. Joining us today are some incredible people, incredible friends and warriors. And I want to tell you, I just looked at a poll, and he's up in the poll. Senator Tom Tillis, he's up. He's up. That's great, Tom. Good. I'm very happy with that. We got to get him in. He's a good man. Good man. And your wife was great the other night. We had a great rally the other night, and you were well represented, let me tell you. Very well. Congratulations. Well, let's save that for tomorrow or the next day. Or, as the Supreme Court would say, sometime into the future. What a ruling. What a ruling. What a horrible thing that they've done. Do you know that puts our country in danger? Do you know what can happen during that long period of time? Pennsylvania, the long period of time. Do you know what can happen? Number one, cheating can happen like you've never seen. This is their dream. And they are known for it, you know. The Philadelphia area is known for it. But what can happen during that long period of time is just a disgrace. Get your ballots in and have them in long before the 3rd. And have them counted before the 3rd, and have an election where we can say to the world that we know who won and we know who lost. What a horror! Our Supreme Court. I'm just so tired of some of these horrible political decisions that are being made. It's a shame. It's a shame. And you know, I won't get into it too much, but I'm going to start getting into it because they're hurting our country very badly. Very badly. Representative Warrior David Rouser. David Rouser. David, thank you. You're doing a great job. Appreciate it. Congress, we have a friend over there, David. Richard Hudson. Where's Richard? Richard Hudson. Congressman, another great guy. He's done a fantastic job, and a friend of mine, and somebody that's done an incredible job also in Congress, Dan Bishop. Thanks, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Doing a good job. He came in through the system. He won a race that was a tough race, right? We worked together on it, and he had no choke in him. He started off a little behind, to put it nicely, and he ended up winning, and he won solid. And how are you doing on this one? Good? I don't have to help you as much. He's going to win. He's going to win. He should win. He's a great congressman. All of them, all three. Thank you very much, fellas. A man that hopefully you're going to recognize for, I guess he doesn't have the funds that the other one has. He is, you know, I see commercials all the time for your governor that has you in a total lockdown. But Dan Forrest would be a phenomenal governor. A phenomenal governor. He would be. You could have a surprise, Dan. That could be a big, beautiful gift to North Carolina. Be a gift. That's not bad. Hey, Dan, that's not bad, huh? Beautiful. Hey, Dan, that's a very impressive applause you got, I have to be honest. Don't kid yourself. That is like a poll, you know? It's like a poll. Except instead of interviewing 73 people, they have thousands of people here. Much more than the 2,000. Who's got a nice 2,000 people? I don't think so. Well, last night in Miami, you want to see a crowd? You couldn't even see the end of it. I've never seen anything like it. There's such spirit. I've never seen spirit like this. And North Carolina GOP chair, somebody doing an incredible job if we win tomorrow. By the way, if we don't win tomorrow, they'll say, how's Michael Whatley doing? I'll say, not good at all. He didn't do a good job. Michael Whatley. Are we doing okay, Michael? Yes? Get out. Get out the vote, Mike. Get him out. Get out the vote. Thanks, Michael. And you are doing a good job. I also want to recognize Medal of Honor recipient, Command Sergeant Major Bob Patterson. Where's Bob? Where's Bob? Where is Bob? Whoa, he looks good. He looks good. Wow. Your husband. Oh, that's a good-looking couple. Wow. That's some incredible honor. That's some incredible honor, I'll tell you what. There is no greater honor. And are you proud of your husband? Yeah, but he's proud of you, too. Oh, she's proud of Trump. Look at that. Thank you. I knew I liked her. Thank you both very much. Great honor. That's the highest honor you can get. Former prisoner of war and Vietnam veteran, Captain Ken Wells, a real hero. Where's Ken? A real hero. Thank you. Real tough one. Look at him. He's tough. He's a tough looking guy. Thank you very much. Beautiful. You look great. Thank you. These are great people. And World War II hero and D-Day veteran, very, very brave, they say, Harold Frank. Hi, Harold. You're looking good. Thank you, Harold. He said he's a brave one. Thank you, Harold. You're looking good. These guys look good. I don't know. They go through all that. They come out. They look better than all of us. I don't know. Something about the war. Something about brave people, right? Military spouse, and don't ever underestimate. That is where it all begins. Somebody who's incredible. Donna Dotson. Donna, where's Donna? Thank you, Donna. Thank you very much. Thank you, Donna. Great to have you. Thank you very much. And retired Sergeant Major Karen De La Vega. Karen, thank you. Thank you, Karen. They're great people. Thank you all for your extraordinary service, and it's an honor to have you with us. Really is. Thank you very much. For 47 years, Joe Biden viciously, repeatedly attacked Black Americans. He decimated the black middle class and called young black men super predators. To every black American, vote for Trump. This is your one and only chance to show Sleepy Joe Biden what you think of his decision to attack you, to insult you, to jail you, and to betray you. I am fighting for you and got criminal justice reform, prison reform, opportunity zones with Tim Scott, and funding for historically black colleges and universities. I got it done. Nobody else got it done. And with the exception of, and I use the word possible exception, but I could use it, or maybe I won't. I'll keep it a little bit less controversial. With the exception of Abraham Lincoln, there's been no president that's done more for the black community than Donald Trump. No president. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Under my leadership, we achieved the most secure border in U.S. history. Joe Biden has pledged to open borders. He's actually talking about taking down the wall. Can you believe it? Let's take down the wall. Let everybody pour into our country. He wants to take down. No, he said it. I don't know. I maybe. But he did say, let's take down the wall. One of the biggest projects that we've ever done. You know, it's a tremendous project. We're up to over 400 miles. We're going to be finished very soon. Over 400 miles. Exactly designed to the specifications of the Border Patrol, who are great. Mass amnesty, wants to give them free health care. This is for illegal aliens, and wants to keep deadly sanctuary cities. Your state has a sanctuary city, you know that, right? You have a sanctuary city, right? A very big one, actually, that doesn't work very well. We believe our cities should be sanctuaries for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens. The Biden-Harris plan would increase refugees from terrorist nations by a staggering 700%. This has been agreed to. This has been agreed to. No thank you, fellas. I'm not interested. I'm keeping radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country if I have your approval. If I have the approval of North Carolina, we'll keep them out. We're going to keep them out. We invested $2.5 trillion in the U.S. military. We have the greatest equipment, greatest people. $2.5 trillion. You think that was easy to get from the Democrats? Actually, the wall was even tougher. The wall was tougher. We got it. Do you notice once I got the wall started, got all the funding, won all the court cases against the Democrats, the press never talks about it anymore. They don't talk about it. We had the best statistics, the best. And can you imagine during the pandemic, because, you know, Mexico's very heavily, unfortunately, infected. And it was a good thing that we had it up. That's why the numbers are so good. We also passed for our great vets VA choice and VA accountability. Nobody thought that could happen. We obliterated 100% of the ISIS caliphate. We killed the leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi is dead. Last week, I visited Fort Bragg, where I presented the Presidential Unit Citation to the Special Forces team that achieved that historic victory. It was great. And we are keeping the name Fort Bragg. You do know that, right? Do you agree? They won cancel culture. You know, we won 2 world wars out of Fort Bragg, and we have other forts, and we're keeping it. We won 2 world wars out of Fort Bragg, and now they say, let's change the name. Let's change the name of Fort Bragg. We'll pick somebody else. Do you have any good suggestions? No. No, we have to keep, it's our culture, it's our heritage. So many victories out of Fort Bragg. We also eliminated the world's top terrorist. Soleimani is dead. I recognized the capital of Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. 52 years they tried to get it. And instead of endless war in the Middle East, we're forging peace. They're lined up to come in. I said, how did Obama and all of those that came before him do it? They told me they all used the same method. I said, really? I'm going to go the opposite method, and it worked very nicely. No blood in the sand, no cost. 3 very powerful countries already signed. We have many others. They're standing on line. Standing in line. And we're bringing our troops back home. Our troops are coming back home. They're coming back home. 19 years is enough. They serve as policemen. I said, no, you have to get your own police department. I'm sorry. A vote for me and the Republican Party is a vote for the American dream. And in conclusion, over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world. And we will end our reliance on China, which has already started. Can you imagine Biden saying we're not gonna end our reliance? I mean, can you imagine? We are going to end our reliance on you. Hey, we gave your son $1.5 billion. What the hell are you telling me? Okay, well, I don't know. Senator, I think it would be tough for him, right? No, they wanted $10 million. They wanted $10 million a year for his services, right? And then you say, no, I'm not going to deal with China anymore, or I'm going to be tough on China. You know, I've taken out many billions of dollars. We never did this in this country, not 10 cents. I gave $28 billion from China to our farmers because they targeted our farmers. 28 billion. And we had plenty of money left over, which went into the U.S. Treasury, thank you. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults or law enforcement, and we will ban deadly sanctuary cities. With God's help, we will defend the right to life, religious liberty, free speech, and the right to keep and bear arms. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength. You know, we're the envy of every country in the world. Our military now has the greatest equipment, all made in the USA, but we have the greatest equipment in the world. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency, and lower drug prices even more. We instituted a favored nations laws. We pay by far the most in the world. We are going to pay now the least in the world. And nobody can believe I did it. And Big Pharma does not like me too much. They are not so happy with me. And we will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars. We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our schools. We will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God we trust." For years, you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the great people of North Carolina. I do. And your tobacco growers are in good shape, by the way. Please let them know, okay? You have any tobacco growers here, please? They're in good shape. They work hard. They were treated very rough. Tomorrow you have the power to do so much for our country. You have the power to vote. So go out and vote. Unless you're going to vote for somebody other than me, in which case, sit it out, don't you? You ever hear these politicians get up and they say, you have the power to vote, and it makes no difference if you vote for me or my opponent. They're such liars, right? They're such liars. So get your friends, get your family, get your neighbors, get your co-workers, get your boss, grab him by the tie, say, let's go, boss. And get out and vote. From Greensboro to Charlotte, from Wilmington to Raleigh, from Asheville to right here in Fayetteville. Fayetteville. I love the name, Fayetteville. We inherit the legacy of American patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears to defend our country and to defend our freedom. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the oceans, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, raised up the great, beautiful skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world, and the best is yet to come. You will see that. Proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working. We are going to keep on fighting. We are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God, and together with the incredible people of North Carolina, we have made America powerful again, military. We have made America wealthy again. We have made America strong again. We have made America proud again. We have made America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, North Carolina. Thank you. Go out and vote.
All right, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, wrapping up his remarks in North Carolina. That's stop number 1 of 5 on the day. We're headed to Scranton, Pennsylvania next. Brick Suit is standing by live. You don't want to miss this one. We've got a really cool sign I think you're going to love. Anyway, I'm only going to talk for a minute. We'll let you hear some of this YMCA and see the president do some of his famous dance moves as he gets ready to board Air Force One and head to Pennsylvania. We're going to close out tonight the same way we did in 2016. We're going to be live from Grand Rapids, Michigan. We were there in 2016 when the president gave his closing remarks to the American people, and now he'll do it again in 2020. Get out and vote, everybody. Get out and vote. Support independent media. If you'd like to contribute to RSB and keep us going, rsbnetwork.com/donate. We're not sure where we'll go after this. Kind of depends on the outcome of whatever happens tomorrow. God bless. We're going to send it back to the crew now in Fayetteville. Enjoy.
Everybody, the President of the United States wrapping up his speech here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, delivering his final remarks to the state as to why they need to re-elect him for 4 more years as President of the United States, why he needs to stay in the White House, making a clear difference between him and his Democratic opponent, Joe Biden. The president leaving now, walking off the stage, headed to Air Force One, going to his other rallies today. The president will continue to deliver his message to the American people. Thank you everybody for joining Right Side Broadcasting Network. Stay tuned for our other rallies. We will bring you live, uninterrupted coverage of every single Trump rally.
All right, so really quick, if you're still watching this stream, we are going to, as soon as the president boards Air Force One, we're going to transition over to the Scranton, Pennsylvania rally stream. It will be on a different stream, so you won't be able to just stay here and watch. So make sure that the moderators can post a link and join us over in Scranton. We'll be live there in about 5 to 10 minutes. We'll have full coverage throughout the day. RSBN thanks you for getting us to these rallies. We rely on viewer support to get us there. We don't take large donations from investors. We're not beholden to anybody except for you, the viewer. So if you want to support us and help us continue our mission, please consider donating. rsbnetwork.com/donate. It's been a pleasure to bring you all these rallies over the last 4 years, and we don't want it to end. So get out and vote. We want to continue to be there for President Trump all the way through the second term. So we appreciate you more than you know. God bless. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you in Scranton, Pennsylvania in a few minutes.